Good evening, or even good morning. This is Touch Gloves Boxing. I go by the name of Biyenge, featuring yours truly, Tre, when you're ready. Let's start off first. What happened to United?
Wait, man. With United, it's just a completely different subject, cuz, man. Premier League, we've not won it in 10 years, man. It's that deep, man. We just need to reshuffle, start again. You know, in life, you've got to take two steps backwards to go forward. We got to reset and start again, man. But that's enough about United, man. Like, enough about them. Obviously, I've got the top one, always to represent, always, regardless, win, lose, or draw. But other than that, cuz, like, how you been, though, man? Like, how's your weekend been?
All good, all good, all
Mm.
good, all good.
Yeah, no, big up, man. Big up. And obviously, we've got a great show organized for today, of course. And cuz, look, let's just get straight into it, cuz. Like, I don't want to waste too much time with this. Obviously, it was a madness yesterday, and we have to review the madness in Wembley. And look, before I go into it, cuz, before I go into it properly, we got to big up BT, we got to big up Queensberry Promotions, got to big up Frank Warren, you got to big up everyone, BT Sport, everyone that's involved in the coverage, of course. And obviously a shout out to my boy Reese Clark. It was his birthday today, it's his 30th birthday. He obviously we done a little link up yesterday and watched the fight. But cuz, what you saying about Fury versus White? What you saying, cuz? What's the views?
Uh, do you know what? It's a difficult one because how can I put it?
Speak, innit?
No, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. It's not what I expected at all. Don't get me wrong. Like, look, okay. The reality is, yeah, Fury on paper is number one.
Mm,
Yes, and everybody said, Fury will win the fight,
mm,
but deep down, I literally thought, Dylan could do something. Like, I honestly think he could have potentially, it could have went to 12 rounds. I don't know, but I did predict that somebody was going to get knocked out in round
yeah,
six.
mm,
But
you were
the
spot on with
fight
that.
overall, if I'm honest with you, just being honest, I expected more. Yeah. I expected more.
Mm,
I expect as a fan. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know a lot goes on in boxing, but as a fan,
mm.
I just expected more. It's just the same way, Man United,
Oh,
expected more from Man United. But no,
man, that's
on
your for in the United, yeah, yeah.
I expect more. I mean, he started off as a southpaw, where I was like, raw, something different. But I don't know. I mean, was that the game plan? Was that the game plan all along, like to confuse Fury? I don't know because initially I literally thought, okay, you're gonna put it on Fury, like literally just put it on him because especially when you
Yeah.
have him in a corner, that was the
Mm.
time to attack. I know there's a height difference, but go for the body and then eventually, the left hook will come. But I don't know, man. I don't. I mean, look, big up Dillian Whyte. I hope he's all right. Look, he waited over 1,000 days and he got his opportunity, and I believe he'll bounce back again. He'll bounce back again because correct me if I'm wrong. Like if Fury does retire, then the WBC belt will get vacated. It could potentially be. I don't know because Wilder's number one. It could be Wilder and Dylan. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So,
Mm, mm,
like I
mm,
said,
mm.
anything's possible. But as a fan, like I said, I expected better, but you know what? You gotta respect the guy. He done what he needed to do. It didn't go his way, but hey, it's life, man.
Yeah, no, big up, cuz, man. Like, I got to echo your thoughts, man. Obviously, you was spot on in terms of predicting a knockout between both fighters. You did say the sixth rounds. Obviously, people in previous pods can check that out, man. But you predicted a knockout. You predicted someone was going to get knocked out within 6 rounds. It happened. Obviously, for me personally, obviously, Dylan, a massive fan of his, of course. And I really wanted him to win. I can't even lie. I really wanted him to win. But it is the realization that maybe Fury is just too good, man, and he's the greatest. In my opinion, he's the greatest heavyweight in our era, man.
No,
He's
he
won
is. He
every
is. He is.
he's
He
won every
is.
belt that you can win. Like he's the WBC champion. He's the Lineal champion. Like no one. He's beaten the man that beat the man. Like he's the man. Like he
Mm.
retired, came back, done a trilogy. Cause he done a trilogy. Cause with the most dangerous man in the planet, Wilder. Then he obviously, defends his title against White, the Body Snatcher. People who essentially people were saying they were scared to fight him, man. Obviously, Fury done it, done his mandatory, and cause it leads me over to my next sort of question, my next topic. Cause is this the last dance for the Gypsy King? Like, is he gonna end
I,
it in a bang?
I don't know. I don't think so. Well, I don't know because here's the thing, right?
Mm,
AJ is fighting Usyk next.
mm,
Let's say I believe AJ beats Usyk. I believe Fury would want to fight AJ because it has to happen. Them two fighting will be one of the biggest British heavyweight clash. You know, it'll probably do more numbers than 94,000 Wembley. It'll probably do 100,000 in Cardiff. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? I mean, look, the reality is, it's just like, look, Fury has won all of the belts.
mm,
When he beat Klitschko, he won all the belts apart from the WBC. But now he's the WBC champion. So technically, even though he's not undisputed, but he's won all the belts. So
yeah,
he's got nothing to prove at all. Let's just say AJ fought Fury and AJ won. Yeah, let's just say it
yeah,
doesn't mean because Fury is number one. Think about it, bro.
yeah,
From when he was out of the ring for about 3.5 years, he put on weight. You know, he's going through madness. You know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
come back, you beat the hardest puncher in the heavyweight division twice, bro. Come on.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You
come
can
on.
you can even argue you done it 3 times. You can
You
argue
have
he
to
beat
give
him.
the guy his flowers. It's like, look, let's
Yeah,
just say if Usyk beats AJ, would Fury really be motivated to fight Usyk? I don't know. I mean, some
yeah,
people are saying, "Oh, Usyk will give him problem because he's a southpaw." Personally, I don't think so because just look
mm,
at the weight. Fury's a giant. All he has to
mm,
do is just close you down. That's all he has
yeah,
to do.
yeah,
Close you down, give you jab, feint. Do you know what I mean? But
mm,
Fury, AJ and Fury, it will be big. And I think what'll be big as well if you had AJ fighting Fury and on the undercard, Dylan and Wilder.
Woohoo! Yo, because that I'm not gonna lie, that would actually be mad. Like venue wise,
It will be because, like, you got to think of it, right?
venue wise, cause like obviously because this you've just jumped straight to the topic, man, and it's an interesting one. Look, it's an heavyweight madness right now. Venue wise, where would you do it? Like if you were to do a AJ Fury in one card and then as the main event, of course, then you've got Dylan and Wilder in the undercard. Like venue wise, where would you do it? Cause where?
Wembley Arena or Cardiff. You know, Wembley Arena or Cardiff.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
because like, look, all right, let's just say AJ loses the rematch. What's next for AJ? Is he going to fight Dylan next? Or is he going to
Mm,
fight Wilder? Or is he going
mm.
to fight Baby Miller? But everybody would want to see AJ and Wilder.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
And
course.
AJ
That's
would probably have to go and fight Wilder in America.
yeah. He would
I
have
mean,
to, wouldn't
I don't know. I can't see Wilder coming down here. Me personally, I can't see it. But it's a madness. I mean, look, Fury just messed up the whole thing in the
he? Yeah,
heavyweight division. Mate.
he just
He's just
he's
coming,
messed it up.
like, look, think about it. Just think about it. Obviously, I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but AJ and Wilder they had an opportunity to fight each other. I don't know what happened, but Fury stepped in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
He stepped
mm.
in, and look, we could have potentially had an undisputed heavyweight champion in what 2018 or
Yeah,
2019.
yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah.
mean?
Definitely,
So
definitely.
it's a heavyweight madness and it's just long. But I
Mm.
believe this year we should have an undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yeah, definitely. No, 100% agree with you. Cause like I feel that we're coming up to that point now where if let's say it obviously goes back to the last topic about if it's Fury's last dance. In my opinion, I definitely feel that with Fury, I think because he's done it all, he's achieved everything you can achieve in the sport. Like you said, he's the WBC lineal champion. Obviously, beat Klitschko for 3 of the belts. He wasn't obviously the WBC champion at the time, But he's got it all, man. Like he can go back to his house, with his family, and all those belts are gonna be framed there. Like he has nothing to prove to us. He has nothing to prove to the rest of the world. And if AJ was to sort of lose that fight, he's not fighting Usyk, in my opinion, because the fight that, in my opinion, could tempt him out of sort of this retirement thoughts is if
Mm.
AJ was to do a madness, beat
Yeah,
Usyk, and then call him out and just be like, "Yo, like, come out of retirement, mate. Let's do this undisputed." But
but the question is, yeah, sorry to cut there.
hmm,
Would he do that?
who AJ? What would he beat Fury or calling him out?
To call him out?
Nah, I don't think he will.
But it's weird because what's this? What we witnessed last night,
Hmm.
I feel that the pressure could be on AJ now
Oh, yeah, you're
to
right.
deliver because
Yeah, yeah.
okay, I don't know the outcome, but I'm assuming for him to beat Usyk, he has to knock him out, right?
He has to knock out
Because if
Usyk
it goes
because
12 rounds, and let's just say he won on points, it's like I don't know.
yeah, it's
But
just one of them
if
ones. Yeah,
he
he has
knocks
to knock
him
him out.
out, then that's a statement.
Mm, 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 mm,
It's
mm.
listen, it's really interesting because so Dylan, who's next to Dylan right now? Did you think Wilder will fight Dylan?
Oh, it's a tough one. You know what? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. You know what, guys? Before I answer that, like, I just have to obviously big up RL. Like last week, he viewed our show, or the person viewed our show. Now he's back on. Look, RL, big up, man, for viewing in as well. Obviously, he's saying, guys,
Mm,
AJ or Usyk need to
mm.
get a KO basically to get Fury out of retirement. So
Possibly,
one
yeah,
of them needs to win by
possibly. Because
emphatic KO. Big up RL for that comment, man.
number wise, like Fury fighting Usyk, it don't get me wrong, it's a big fight.
Mm,
I
mm,
just believe that him fighting AJ because they go way back. It's a
mm,
bigger fight.
mm,
They're
mm,
both giants, like
mm,
But I literally, I don't know. I don't know. I think the pressure's on AJ now. The pressure, as much as people say, "Oh, what pressure, bro?" I think the pressure's on now because remember before everyone doubted Fury said, "Oh, he's not a punch. He hasn't got no punch power.
mm.
He's got a pillow fist." But look what he done last night.
But the thing is though, cause like we really have to deep it, yeah. And
Mm,
I was listening to what Fury says, and one of the things that I respect about Fury is even look after his victory, he does it all the time. Gives all the glory to Jesus, of course, man.
mm,
And I respect the fact that he's a committed Christian, and regardless, man, he puts it out there. But also, as a man, like he also admitted that the first time when he linked up with Sugar Hill, even though he was the undefeated fighter, he was the lineal champion. He said that when he was training with Sugar Hill for the first time, he felt like he was nothing because he basically had to strip him down from what he learned and turn this guy into a heavyweight puncher. And look
mm,
what he's done for Tyson Fury in the fights that he's had. What?
mm.
How many knockouts has he got with Sugar Hill now? That's what, three in a row now.
Three, yeah, three in a row, yeah, three, yeah.
Cause and Fury, we used to sort of ridicule him, not us too, but I'm saying in general, like the boxing world, they used to ridicule him for not having power. And now in
Mm,
these past three fights, he's got what, Wilder and White knockouts.
mm,
Cause
mm,
you gotta give this man props, man. He's Sugar Hill has to get a lot of credit, man, because he's
mm,
turned Fury into the ultimate fighter, man. As well as him being like, because he's naturally gifted, because I think he's got a special gift where, because he's a heavyweight, the way he
mm,
moves is like he's a welterweight or middleweight, man. Like, he's just fast, bro, as a heavyweight. So him having that, the feints, the boxing IQ, him being smart, and having that additional boxing power, like that power to knock out guys, cause he's the ultimate boxer, especially in our era, man. So you gotta big him up. You gotta big him up.
Most definitely. No, no, definitely. Listen, I totally agree with you. It's
Mm.
just, I just want him. I literally out
You want
that.
him to come out of retirement, basically,
Yeah,
innit?
it has to
Mm.
happen, man. That one fight. Well,
if
you
AJ
know,
does
these
his part,
win.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah. We're hoping.
it will be, that will be the story. That will be like, okay, he's coming out of retirement, yeah.
Mm,
They're fighting for all of the belts,
mm, mm,
all of the belts.
mm.
And if he does a job on my man,
The rest is history. Yeah, you know what? But that's the beauty of it, man.
Mm,
With heavyweight boxing, that's the beauty. Like
mm.
we know that one punch can essentially end the night, and we saw it last night. Cause
Yeah,
like I wasn't even ready for that uppercut, man. Like I wasn't
yeah.
ready for that. Like it just seemed like obviously Fury was keeping him away. With the jabs, of course, and with a lot of the jabs that he was giving it.
Mm.
Cause like we saw White's head being pushed back a few times, so I'm thinking, whoa, he's keeping him at a distance. And then next thing you know, done a little feint, and then wham, uppercut, and that's it. I was just like, yo, like what happened? And it just makes you think, though, cuz man, like this next fight against Usyk, of course, cuz
Mm.
AJ and Usyk, this fight is so important for the heavyweight division, man,
It
because
is, yeah.
it's
It
so
is.
so
Indeed.
important. Like
Yeah.
like, the heavyweight division, especially in England, man, is riding on this fight, man. Because if basically AJ wins, gets the title back, and then for us boxing public, it's like, yo, Fury can finally have the fight that he wanted. Because initially, the fight yesterday, Fury tried to make that AJ fight for yesterday, basically, like
Mm.
in terms of the
Mm.
negotiations and working towards it.
Yeah,
But
I
of
know.
course, didn't happen. Obviously, Dylan got his shot, which he deserved, like 1000%. But obviously, Fury's heart was always on AJ, and I think you're right, cuz I think the only way he could get him out of retirement, and I echo what RL is saying, and obviously I'll just put that up again. Either man needs to get a knockout to get Fury out of retirement, man, because I don't
But
see
do,
how
do,
he's gonna come out of retirement because he's not
with,
motivated to.
with this fight, the rematch,
Mm.
do you believe somebody's going to get knocked out?
It's it's tough. The reason why it's tough because look, in theory, in reality, the bigger man, Joshua, the more powerful guy, Joshua, should be able to get the knockout, man. But the only problem is he's fighting against a slick southpaw who's very intelligent in the ring. He's very crafty, and you're not going to get that shot. You're not going to get that big shot. It's going to be very difficult unless he does something mad and faints and just does something crazy where he just catches him, man. But with Usyk, I've been following the guy since he's obviously been dominating at cruiserweight. He obviously won the Olympics in London, and cause like this, he's extremely intelligent. Usyk, like people don't give Usyk his props for how intelligent he is in the ring. He's slick as well, and plus the guy is making history as well. Cause like undisputed
Mm.
cruiserweight champion, coming up to heavyweight as well. If if for example, cuz like let's say he beats AJ and the WBC title becomes vacant, like cuz he can become undisputed champion. Like Usyk could become the undisputed champion, but
All right, I've got a question. Do
mm.
you think Usyk can beat Wilder?
Oh no, that's a big ask, man. It's a big ask, man.
The reason why I say this is because Fury said it already. He said, "Look, Fury's number one." He goes, he personally thinks Wilder is number two because
Yeah,
the power he carries is dangerous.
it's
He even said
dangerous.
that Wilder, the trilogy fight, because Wilder put on weight, he goes,
Mm.
he felt that power double.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm thinking, if Wilder was to land
Yeah, it's
on
done.
any of these heavyweights,
It's done,
it'd be
cuz it's done. Like Wilder, one thing you have to give to Wilder, like people could diss him about his previous opponents. People can diss him about he's fought cab drivers up to a certain point, cuz we can't deny the fact that this guy carries gift anointed power. Like he says that he's been anointed with power. Like, and we've seen the evidence of this, cuz like even against Fury, like you've seen like the scrappers in that man, and I'm sure people were thinking in that fight, oh, Fury's quite easily you could do some damage on him, but Fury was going through a lot, man, before that fight, cuz man. So you could
Yeah,
understand why certain things was happening, man. But it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, cuz. But if Usyk was to fight Wilder, Wilder's winning that fight, in my opinion, man. As much as I love, look, I love both fighters
yeah,
massively. I'm a massive fan of both fighters, but I think Wilder, he's just one of those guys that if you blink for 1 second, cuz like you could just 1 second blink. Like
mm,
it's like you're driving, man. You just lose focus for that second, boom, accident. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Wilder is that guy. Like if you blink for a second, this guy's taking you out, man. But look, cuz man, I just quickly just want to run through some of these comments. Obviously, we've got
Yeah, cool.
Palomas, Biancos, like big up, big up, big up, Blancos, big up, big up. Obviously, Palamos, big up, man. Obviously, Fury worked Dylan out early, obviously, before turning up the heat. Usyk and Tyson will be next. Okay, that's a good point. Just can't see AJ beating Usyk. Look, I completely agree with you there. Um, and also, Usyk would slaughter Wilder. Cuz, what you saying? Like, what you saying from
You
these
know,
comments, man? Big
I
up
agree. I
Palamos.
agree with the comments, but in terms of boxing wise, yes, he will do a number on Wilder. But the power that Wilder said it so many times. You look, you could be perfect for the whole 12 round. I just need a second, and then it's night
Mm,
night. And
night,
he's
night.
proven it. All he's proven it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Him fighting Fury, Fury. We all know Fury was on a different level. Do you know what I mean? To
Different
all of
level,
his
man.
opponents.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, you know, I believe that the fight with Usyk and AJ is happening in July. It might be in
Oh,
Saudi Arabia. I don't know.
yeah.
But
What's
then,
the talks? What's the talks at the moment? What venue is
well,
it
I
looking
don't know.
like
They're
it's gonna
saying
be?
Saudi Arabia. It might be Saudi Arabia. But I say run it back here.
Run
Do it
it
back at
back
Tottenham.
here,
Well,
man.
maybe not
Tottenham.
Tottenham. But run it back
Nah,
here.
he doesn't want to do it back at Tottenham. I don't think, man.
Or Wembley or Cardiff, whatever. Just run it back here, man. I
Run
mean,
it
look.
back somewhere, man. Like run it back
But
somewhere, man.
no, look. If Usyk beats AJ by knockout, then possibly Fury might just come out of retirement. But like, do you know what? Yeah, he's the real deal. Let's do it.
Oh, what?
But then
Can
that
you see
means,
that? Can you see that happening, cuz? But it could have happened the first fight, though, innit?
you know what? The first, I honestly, like I said, from the fourth round, I don't know what happened. Like his mind just wandered off,
Yeah,
and
man.
last round, it looked like he was gonna knock him out.
Yeah, cuz honestly, I thought the fight was done. The last 20 seconds, I thought the fight was going to be done in the last 20 seconds of that round, man, because it looked like AJ was out of it, man. So, boy, like, cuz, like, in terms of, I think Usyk, in terms of his style, because he's got such a high IQ, he can mentally drain you, I guess, as well, and I guess that can make you physically fatigued as well because you're trying to throw punches, you're missing as well.
Figure out, yeah.
It's
Of
mad.
course, no, definitely. You're trying to figure out your opponent, etc. But how I see it, like, look, if you're a boxer or you're a fighter or champion, whatever it is, yeah,
Mm,
you need to have that heart and that brave. Just you need to be smart. You need to think on your. You
yeah,
need to think on the spot what to do. Okay, if this is not working, let me try this. Let me try it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to. This goes up for every boxers, I suppose. Like you
Mm,
can't just because a lot of things we as fans we always overlook at opponents. Like I go back to Andy Ruiz. When I remember when AJ was fighting Andy Ruiz, yeah, I
yeah,
thought, bro, this is a joke. Like
yeah,
this is a
yeah,
joke.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
watching the fight, I was like, oh my goodness. Do you know what I mean? So
Scrappers,
yeah,
scrappers in the states, man. It's a
but
bit
it's
crazy, isn't
just
it?
I just want to know who's next. Like literally, like I
Mm,
really want to see Wilder and Dylan. I really want to see that fight. But then my
wild and
question is,
yeah.
would Wilder want to do it? Like, would it
Is
generate
there
money?
motivation? Is there motivation
I don't
behind
know.
it? Yeah.
But
If it's for the vacant WBC title,
then yes,
then that does
that
make
would probably
sense,
be in
man.
America.
Yeah,
But
it would have to be. Yeah,
belt or no belt, he would want to fight AJ.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's that beef's obviously personal, man. But look, before we sort of just carry on with this topic, man, I just want to quickly just run through this last sort of comment that we've got from Palamos, man. Big up, man. Thank you so much for obviously tuning into the show. Guys, if you haven't, for the viewers, just like, and just subscribe to the channel as well. It's always greatly appreciated. Look, Palamos is saying Wilder only has that power if you give him the opportunity. He has no ring craft, doesn't know how to work the ring. Look, I completely agree
I agree with you. I
with
agree
him.
with you. He
Definitely,
relies on his power,
he
and
does,
I think
of course.
with that power, a lot of heavyweight they feel intimidated. They literally
Yeah,
think like, "What if he hits me? It's 9-9."
done. It's
You
nine
know, I
nine.
mean, look at when he fought what's his name
Oh, Brazil.
Ortiz.
Oh,
Now
man. What the second
fight,
one?
no,
Or the
the first one, Ortiz was
yeah.
saying, he was tired, it was gassed out, but ain't gonna happen again.
Mm.
Look at the second fight.
Oh,
Mate, he couldn't get up. I
yeah,
mean,
done.
look at Brazil as well. 9-9.
You know what? That second fight with that is such a good topic that you also brought up, Bob. That second fight was actually so peak because if you look at the judges' scorecard for that fight, Wilder was down.
Of course.
Wilder was down,
Of course.
and then out of nowhere, wham, done. And it seemed
Yeah.
like he was just waiting for it as well.
Yeah,
It was
he's
just
waiting. He's waiting.
calculating. And I
He relies
remember
on the power.
you're right. He relies on it, and I remember that sort of watching a content online about Wilder, and Wilder was obviously talking about what he does in the ring. Like he calculates sort of. It
Of
takes him
course.
a time to calculate sort of the distance in
Of
terms of what
course.
he needs to do to land that shot. Do you know what I
He,
mean? And
of course.
yeah, he does his sort of calculations, distance, and stuff like
He's a
that.
smart man. Like,
He's
he's a
very,
smart, I
very
mean,
intelligent. Very, he doesn't get
with
enough
him,
credit for that.
he hasn't retired, has he?
That's the thing, cause we like. I wish we can get like Malik Scott or something like that on the show, so we can ask him like, yo, like what's going on with Wilder? Because I think from what I see from his social medias, maybe he's just focused more on his music. You know, he's obviously I watched a podcast the other day about him. He was obviously talking about him, having a studio in his house and working on that creating beats and stuff like that. It
Yeah.
looks like his motivation is not really focused on boxing, but maybe he's waiting for that big fight opportunity. He's probably at that
So,
age now where he's thinking, "Yo, I only come back for that big one, maybe." Or yeah,
so am I right in saying so? All right. So Fury, let's just say, okay, he's retired. That 100%.
yeah,
The belt is vacated. Who
yeah.
will who will be the WBC champion? Like who will be like who will be fighting for the belt? Because Wilder's apparently number 1. So
Yeah.
who's going to be number 2?
Wow, you know what? Let me. That's a good one. I'm gonna Google that right now. The
Because no,
WBC
'cause I'm just thinking like
is yeah.
let's just say like okay, Usyk beats AJ, and let's just say Wilder becomes the WBC champion again. Then it'll most probably be Usyk and Wilder,
It probably have to be Usyk and Wilder. Yeah, man. All right.
or it could be, I don't know, it could be Andy
Oh,
Ruiz.
this is where it's interesting, cuz. All right.
Mm,
So the WBC heavyweight rankings, yeah,
mm,
it looks like Dylan is obviously the interim champion, and
right.
then one is Wilder, like you said.
Yeah.
Number two, you know who number two is?
Parker?
Nah,
No.
Juggernaut,
Juggernaut. Ooh.
Juggernaut, Joe Joyce, man,
Funny
like
you say
Joe
that.
Joyce,
Joe Joyce and Parker. That will be an interesting fight.
and Parker's number three as well. So this it will be
Yeah.
two versus
Ooh.
three,
Ooh,
two
that'll be
versus.
interesting.
That's what I'm saying. It's looking juicy.
So it could potentially be if he retires. Sorry, if he vacates the belt, it could potentially be Wilder and Dylan.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially,
Ooh.
potentially. And then you got Joe Joyce and Parker just chilling there, like on
But
standby.
no, but them two they're fighting because Joe Joyce is number 1 for WBO and Parker's number 2, I believe. So they should be
Oh,
fighting in July. That should be interesting.
ooh, that's a
Who's
juicy
that
one as
fight?
well, cuz like,
I don't know. I'm leaning more against towards Parker, because I think
I
Parker's
know,
he used
look,
to be. Don't get me wrong, he's a nice guy in that area, but now because he's been training with Andy Lee and with the Furies, he's coming for the knockout now. He's coming for the knockout. It'll be
mm,
interesting because I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not writing off Joe Dress at all, not at all. But I think it'll be a good fight.
yeah, no, big up, man. Obviously, Palamos is obviously confirming as well that
Mm,
Joyce and Parker is happening in July. Believes, of course. look, I really hope that fight happens. I think it will be a very interesting fight for the heavyweight division for the future as well. I like
Mm.
Joseph Parker, man, because obviously comes out with that
Humble.
energy. You know, Roy Jones Jr. can't get touched, man. He comes out in that, so I love that energy. But also, cause I can't lie, I
Mm.
like Joy Joyce, man. I like the
Yeah.
juggernaut. He comes through with just that energy, like he's the juggernaut. Like goes in the ring, gets the job done, leaves the ring. Like you've seen what he
But
done to Dubois.
it will be an interesting fight because Frank was talking about it being a stadium fight, them two. So that I could potentially
Ooh,
see that being in Arsenal.
I could see. Yeah, you know it's gonna be in the Emirates or something, man. You just know, man. You just know. You know it's
Yeah,
gonna be in the Emirates because
yeah,
Frank Warren's got good. He's an Arsenal fan, so I could just
yeah.
tell he probably make that happen. Of course, I think I'm not too sure what team the Juggernaut supports,
Arsenal.
man. Oh, he's an Arsenal man. That fight's happening now, man. Nah, that's it's done.
Big Arsenal. Arsenal, yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe so as well. I think so, but we obviously need to get quoted on that, man. But
Funny you say that as well, yeah. I mean, I know
mm,
we'll keep going round and round here,
yeah,
but
yeah, of course. Let's go
a
for it,
next
man.
opponent for AJ, I think if you know, if he gets defeated again by Usyk,
Yeah.
is either gonna be Miller,
Ooh.
uh, Wilder,
Yeah.
Joe Joyce, and Dylan. So that's all four opponents. That's
Ooh.
four opponents because he needs, you know, he's a big attraction in it, so he needs to fight credible people. And
Mm,
I believe it will be Wilder next. I could be wrong, but
mm.
if he wins, do you know what? It's so mad. This heavyweight division is just so mad because
Cause that's why it's called the madness, bro. It's a
it
heavyweight
can work
madness.
either way. Because like, look, Usyk beats him, it could be Usyk and Fury.
Mm,
Or if Fury does retire, it could be Usyk and Wilder. Or it could be
mm.
Usyk and Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy. No, it's just right about now. I'm just sitting on the fence. I'm sitting on the
Because
fence.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm just enjoying the
yeah,
madness right now, man. It's good
yeah.
entertainment for us. So like it feels
Mm,
like you know, obviously we was young because we used to watch WWE, WWF, just
mm,
watch the storylines and stuff like
mm.
cause like we're seeing all different storylines, like we're seeing potential matches and cause it's absolutely crazy. That's why we gotta give you credit, man, for the name
Having said
Heavyweight
that,
Madness, man.
I think next opponent for Dylan right now
Mm.
should be Miller.
Big
David
baby
Miller.
Miller,
Yeah,
Miller.
yeah.
You know, I miss Miller. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Mm,
he just reminds me of a WWE wrestler, man. The way he talks on the mic, man. He's just like, I like that energy, man. I like that energy. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
He'll bring some heat for sure, and I think that fight would be entertaining from the build up, man. Both
Yeah, of
guys with the
course. Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
No respectful business, man. It's just gonna be just
No.
yeah, yeah.
No.
He'll bring that out, of Dylan, for sure, man. I reckon. Yeah,
Mm.
man. Yeah, but you know what? Cause we've obviously went a little bit over time, but look, we've had so many different like great topics to talk about. Obviously, thank you so much to the viewers for the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, cause like obviously you're Mr. Sports Entertainment. You're the man right now. How you gonna end this pod right now, cuz that how
Yo,
you
like
gonna
Trey
end it?
said, man, look, listen, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to follow us too, man. I'm Biyenge
Mm,
on Instagram. Yours truly, Trey on Insta.
mm,
You know, Touch Gloves Boxing. And see you next week, 7:30. We're
yeah.
out.
I say we're out.